Hello fellow contenders, I hope you're all having fun grinding the 60 rounds for rank, because I sure did. Today's video is all about the medium class in the finals. In my opinion, the medium class is one of, if not the most important class in the game, due to how versatile it is and how well you can make it fit your own personal and your team's playstyle. I'm bringing you this comprehensive guide so you know exactly how to play the class and how not to only make it fit your needs, but to excel while using it. We'll talk about various different setups, what weapons are good for different scenarios, and I'll also be showing some examples of how I play medium in its different forms. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Starting off, let's discuss what the roles of medium are. To break it down simply, there are three main roles: defensive, supportive, and offensive. Each of these roles have their own benefits and drawbacks. However, medium has a tendency to work around everything that is happening in the arena and will often perform great in most of these scenarios regardless of your setup. Let's begin breaking down what I believe each role's purpose is. The defensive medium is one that holds down the fort when your team has started a cash out, by placing down turrets, blocking off exits, setting up mines and traps, providing cover fire in return for your team, and overall tends to have a slower but more successful playstyle. A defensive medium does not just camp in a corner and wait for the enemy teams to just run in. You must still actively play a role by providing solid defense and bring value to your team's composition. This role, more often than not, tends to be an easier role to accomplish compared to the others. However, don't forget that if your defense is easy to break, your cash out will be stolen more frequently, and you will in turn have to fight back for control more often. So, don't underestimate the power of slow and steady wins the finals. Next up, we have support. This is arguably the most important role a medium can have due to the one simple fact that you are the only build in the game that can heal teammates. The support's role is in its name. Your job is to support teammates in fights and provide as much healing as possible if possible. You have to revive statues as often as possible, and one often missed part of this role is your job is not only to stand behind teammates and heal them the entire game. You must move around and provide your team with information while you are in close vicinity of your team in case they need heals or support of any kind. Because at the end of the day, you are still a medium and you must still be actively engaged in the arena alongside your team in all situations. As of now, the healing beam is an essential part of any medium support's build. Without it, you'd be better off playing defensive or offensive. In most games, I've noticed that majority of healing beam users tend to either stray away from the team and do not fulfill their role of being a support, or simply forget to provide heals in times that is needed most. I'll be showing an example shortly where instead of trying to get frags and kills and contest areas without my team, I chose to heal my teammates from behind cover, and in return we were able to steal the cash out. Without my positioning and heals, my teammate would have died and we could have lost the round. So, always remember, when in doubt, provide heals throughout. Now, for the most exciting build, offense. An offensive medium should be the one that is confident in taking fights head on, and more often than not, you are the one to engage in these fights first. Getting kills, contesting areas, and creating space for your team is what I believe to be the main priority of an offensive medium. Being aggressive should not feel uncomfortable. Think of an offensive medium as the entry of your team. Your job is not to tank hits, your job is not to sit back and provide fire from behind. Your job is to be right up there at the front in all the action and engage with teams as best as possible with the help of your team. The primary ability for an offensive medium, in my opinion, would be recon sense, and we will talk more about why I feel so, and we'll show examples as to why having recon and being aggressive really pays off. So, be aggressive as an offensive medium. Now that we've established the three main roles of medium, let's talk about utilities and gadgets. Let's break down my picks for the defensive role. As mentioned earlier, your job as a defense build is to ensure that you have any given area locked down to the best of your ability. Hence, my picks are the Guardian turret. In its current state, the turret is a great choice for adding an additional layer of security to your cash outs. I doubt this ability needs much of an introduction, but given its health, fire rate, and damage, this is a great choice for those looking to lock down their sites. And here's an example of how exactly I would set up a cash out to lock it down as best as possible. The Pyro Grenade. Although this nade isn't the best of the bunch, I included it for the simple fact that you can use it in a few different ways. To push enemies back, burn down ghoul walls, add fire damage as a bonus if you plan on going in for a sweep, etc, etc. The Gas Mine. This is my choice of mine due to one simple reason, which is it has absolutely no fire up delay compared to the Explosive Mine. The moment an enemy is on it, it fires away. I tend to either place 2 on the cash out itself, or 1 on the cash out, and 1 in a commonly used area that I feel enemy teams will use. And finally, the Goo Grenade. This is another nade that may not be the best fit for some, however when I am able to use it, it provides the cash out with plenty more security as it reduces the number of entrances and directions that the enemy teams can approach from without alerting your team first. Now the support role. The Healing Beam, as I mentioned before, is no doubt the best ability if you have a coordinated team that can make good comms and ask for or provide healing when needed. Here's an ideal example of how I believe the support role with the Healing Beam should be used. The Jump Pad. I included this here simply because without it, the support role would have absolutely no movement tech, which is something that is crucial in my eyes to be able to get around faster, not only to assist your team, but also to not be completely dependent on your teammates the entire game. The Sonar Grenade. This is another gadget that many might not even try out, however its popularity is quickly increasing. The fact that you can have sonar senses inside a grenade is a very useful gadget that will most certainly come in very handy throughout the arena regardless of if you are defending or attacking. Finally, the defib. This is once again a gadget that no support should play without. The respawn time compared to manually reviving a teammate is unparalleled. Do keep in mind that when using a defib to revive someone, they will only spawn back in with half health rather than full health when manually reviving. Good thing you'll have a healing beam, huh? And finally, the offensive beast mode role. Choosing recon senses provides an immense amount of information that can be used to plan, attack, defend against any enemy teams, and besides, who doesn't want walls so you can chase down your enemy without them realizing? Especially since at the moment, the sounds in the game aren't exactly fantastic. It is more difficult to listen to footsteps over the sounds of buildings collapsing versus just being able to see them through walls. Not to mention the immense range it has basically across the map. Here's a fantastic example of recon sense being used to make an aggressive but well thought out play. The Frag Grenade and Flashbang. Both of these can and should be used combined, however not in all cases. The way I like to use these nades is to flashbang if the cash out or box is in a small room, then go guns blazing, or to strategically throw them to deter enemies away. One more use of the flashbang that you might not have realized is that it can be used to gather information. Simply throw the flashbang in a direction far away. If you get a hit marker, then there are enemies in that direction, most likely coming towards you. I usually do this when we're on a cash out to help me figure out where the enemy teams are coming from. And last but not least, the zipline. The zipline can be used in a variety of different ways to either get your team onto engage an enemy team or to create a quick escape if trouble arises. Nonetheless, the zipline is very good movement tech and I'd encourage trying it out if you haven't already. You may be wondering what are the best weapons to use for medium, and this is my answer. The AK, as it is in the game right now, is the most viable option for any role. Its ability to pin down enemies, whether it be in medium, close, or even long ranges, is far better than anything else offered for medium. The devs did slightly nerf the AK by adding more recoil to the gun, but even with that, I still believe that it is the far superior choice. That being said, there are still a few other weapons I'd encourage you to try out. For example, my next pick would be the 𝘏𝑘𝑎𝑟. The 𝘏𝑘𝑎𝑟 received a buff to where it is significantly easier to control now versus how it was in the open beta. If that doesn't suit your taste, then I'd encourage you to try out either the revolver for a more precise and fun playstyle, or the shotgun if you want to further strengthen your ability to lock down sights. That does it for this video. I will leave you all with some clips of myself playing as medium. I hope you learned something from this guide, and if you did, be sure to smash that like button down below and comment what your personal favorite part of medium is. Enjoy, and I'll see you all in the finals.
Successful, so I'll say, baby, time you're